tomorrow the Democrats take the stage for their final debate. It'll be interesting to see if Obama goes after Hillary, given that a new CNN poll shows the two candidates are now in a statistical dead heat in New Hampshire. But first, let's dissect this thing that happened today. Chris Wilson is a Republican strategist and CEO of Wilson Research Strategies. Liz Chatterton is a Democratic strategist and president of the Chatterton Group. And Jonathan Allen is a reporter with Congressional Quarterly. All right, listen, welcome to all three of you. And this roundtable has to start with what the heck was that today? First, the moderator, let's keep it snappy, let's keep it tight here, let's not get and she seemed a little bit snippy and just set a weird tone, did it not?
It did. I think that's one of the reasons why you don't find many newspaper people hosting TV debates.
That's probably what the story is. Did you all know going into this that Alan Keyes was running for anything?
No.
Liz?
No, I was as shocked as anybody to see Alan Keyes up there. I kept asking people, when did he announce for president? I mean, that was completely shocking. I had no idea he was running for president.
I think he was in town. He was having a meal or something, and somebody said, hey, what do you think? We got an open podium up there.
Joe, I don't think Republicans want him to be their nominee. His track record against Barack Obama, if you'll recall, in that Senate race is pretty lousy.
Yeah, well, right, but I mean, I wonder, why does he show up? Because the Democrats have Kucinich? Hey, let's throw Alan Keyes in there. And he really did argue for more time the entire time he had the floor. I don't know what he stands for.
Well, at this point, pretty much anyone who says they've seen a UFO can get into the debate. So that was kind of the key mark that Keyes had to meet.
Hey, Liz, I got to ask you this. As somebody from the other side, were you expecting that everybody would go after Huckabee, and when it didn't happen, what did you think?
Well, I was really quite shocked, and I was really shocked that Romney didn't go after Huckabee more. He really should. Huckabee has usurped Romney as the front runner in Iowa. Romney missed an opportunity, in my opinion, to really go after him. I was quite surprised that they didn't take after Huckabee.
Hey, Jonathan, how is it that we didn't talk immigration the entire time today? That's supposed to be the hot topic in Iowa with their meatpacking plants and illegals, you know, all over town taking jobs. Why didn't we hear about this?
Maybe the Iowans get enough of the immigration debate without focusing this debate on it. They hear a lot about it, but it's interesting. You asked about not going after Huckabee. There's kind of a problem here for Mitt Romney, which is if he goes after Huckabee, it may hurt him. One thing that seems to be true about Huckabee is a lot of voters, even if they don't agree with him on specific issues, immigration, for instance, they still seem to like him, and going after him might sort of boomerang on somebody. I think Romney was hoping that someone else on that stage might go after Huckabee a little bit.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's not Romney that goes after him, then he probably doesn't benefit from taking him down a notch. And by the way, Giuliani, going into this, hey, Chris, I'm wondering, going into this, Giuliani was the hottest candidate before, you know, weeks ago. Suddenly, he's like the third person you talk about, or the fourth person even in this race. How does that happen? How does he play second fiddle? He didn't look like he was very comfortable with it.
Well, I think Giuliani has seen his numbers drop a lot. And that's what a lot of us on the Republican side were predicting would happen as voters started to examine his position on social issues. And not just overall has it dropped. It's dropped dramatically with conservatives, with people who go to church once a week or more, with those who are most likely to vote, and those who are paying the most attention. So Giuliani, with those universes I just discussed, is in second or third place nationally. And I think that is a situation that's kind of motivating what's happening there. Back to your point, though, about Huckabee and Romney, you got to keep in mind that Romney's attacking Huckabee right now on TV.
Right, but he had an opportunity to do it face to face. Is it that he was afraid to sort of look like an attack dog actually attacking somebody personally? Is that why he stayed away from it?
Absolutely. It's a lot easier to do that on TV than it is in person. And in fact, Huckabee's answer was pretty good on that, his response. And I think it's got Romney a little bit gun-shy. They're going to sit back, see what the TV ads do. Do they start to move numbers? And if they do, then you'll probably see him engage a little bit more. But I think you're exactly right in that Romney was waiting for someone else to jump in and do it first, and it just didn't happen. And because of that, Huckabee's the one who comes out the winner.
Hey, listen,
the other thing is if Romney gets into it, I was just going to say the other thing is if Romney gets into a one-on-one with Huckabee, who has proved, if nothing else, that he's good in these debates at bantering, you know, you could end up looking bad just by being the worst debater.
I guess, hey, Liz, in watching this, Huckabee, to me, when they had their 30 seconds to sort of just say anything about anything, he tried to come off as very presidential. Did you see that happening? You know, from the other side of the aisle, are you going, well, okay, he's trying to say, I am presidential, talking about the founding fathers and the brilliant revolutionary ideas and so on and so forth. Is he sort of trying to put himself above the fray, if you will, as you watch this from the Democrat side? Is he preparing for a wider, maybe a national race?
Well, I definitely think he's making his move. I think he's saying, I'm here, I'm legitimate, I'm no longer a second-tier candidate, I'm one of the big players, you may be facing me in November, and you know what? I'm a real player. I am a legitimate presidential candidate, and I do think he's probably trying to rise above the fray. I think he knew, or frankly expected, to be the person who was going to be gone after in the debate today, and I think that's part of what this was. It was a prep for that.
Okay, Jonathan, I want to start with you, and I want all three of you to comment on this. Romney and the others all went, but I don't know, global warming. They all freaked out. Thompson didn't want to raise his hand. I thought that the conservative angle was, yeah, you know, global climate change is happening, but I'm not really sure that it's us that's doing it. They all seem to pander to that. Jonathan, what did you see?
Well, I don't think this is an issue that a lot of Republicans are comfortable right now.
They ran away from it.
It's like you throw guns or immigration at the Democrats and you watch them kind of fumble things.
Right.
I think they're not sure what they want to say at this point on global warming. I think in a general election they will want to bow a little bit to the idea that it's going on and that there's something that might be done about it. In a primary, that's not going to be as successful, and I think they just really don't want to lock themselves into tough turf to defend later on.
Liz, what do you think? I mean, you see this, and Fred Thompson says, I'm not going to play hand games, whatever that meant, and the others are going, I think, well, I would like to, if I could have more than a yes or no answer. They're scared to death of this topic, aren't they?
Oh, I absolutely think they're scared to death. I think they're finding themselves in a real box on this issue. The Bush administration pretended it didn't exist for a long time. Now it's looking like they were wrong. The Republicans are all going to take a hit for that. And I agree with the guy a minute ago who said, you know, this may not be a Republican primary issue, but it's definitely going to be a general election issue. And the Republicans have been on the wrong side for a long time, and they're finding themselves at odds with the general public, and they don't know what to do.
Well, I could, but I don't want to. We could debate global warming all day. I'll say, yes, there's global climate change. I don't think you and me and cows passing gas have anything to do with it, but that's for a different show. Chris, what do you think? They have to attack this. They have to answer questions on global warming and hybrid technology and green this and green that. They can't not talk about it and get elected into office.
Well, it's not a Republican primary issue that's going to motivate the base, and that's why they stayed away from it today. I don't think there's any fear to deal with this. And I think you look at some of the people on the Republican side of the aisle who've done an effective job addressing this issue, and that's going to be the sort of messaging you're going to see in the general election. And I don't think there's any fear to address with it, and I would argue that Republicans are going to end up being on the right side of this issue long term, and despite the sort of flavor of the month that's going on with Al Gore right now, long term Republicans are positioned well on this.
Okay, I want to go down the list here very quickly. I'm almost out of time. Fred Thompson, after seeing his performance today where he did appear to be awake, but I mean everybody thought he was going to come in and be the firebrand candidate. He's not that. Is he still a serious candidate? Yes or no? Let's start with you, Chris.
Yes, he is, but he's got a lot of work to do and to go out and reposition himself. And I think the National Review endorsement that took place was a big hit to his campaign.
Yeah,
that probably should have gone to him, and it didn't. And I think that's a statement that either he needs to get out of bed and campaign more, or it's time to look again.
Liz, yes or no, quickly?
No, absolutely. And I think he's still relevant. I think he's still a player. I think he may run third in Iowa and New Hampshire, but you just wait till South Carolina. I think you're going to see a whole new Fred Thompson.
Jonathan, yes or no?
I'm not sticking a fork in anybody yet.
Okay, very good. I appreciate all three of you. Thank you so much.